They were 3 blocks from the warehouse before they stopped running. Kathy leaned against a building to catch her breath, and looked up at Adam, who stood a few feet away. With the mask, it was hard to recognize him as the guy she had talked to outside the school library a few days ago.
"Thanks for back there,"
she said after a minute.
"No problem,"
he said.
"Happy to help."
A pang of guilt made Kathy look at the ground. He was different from the hero of her past. Adam wasn't just looking for a morning headline. He truly wanted to help, to make a difference. They were alike in that aspect.
"I owe you an apology,"
she said, facing him. Confusion crossed his masked face. Sure, she could have gone in there with a better plan, but it wasn't her fault those scumbags had set a trap.
"I'm sorry that I called you a stalker."
Kathy's words spilled out like a waterfall.
"If we go by definition, all those guys back there could say the same about me. And it's not like I'm perfect. I mean, you need a permit to scale a public building. I never even applied for one, and—"
Whoa, slow down. Adam raised his hands to stop the overflow of sentences. This sudden and rapid apology was kind of funny, but he didn't laugh at her. It was clear she was trying to make amends for whatever offense she thought she had given.
"Just say what you're trying to say. The important stuff."
He let her finish. She looked at him.
"I prejudged you. I misjudged you. I lumped you into a category and didn't think to even give you a chance. You're a good guy, Blue, and I'm sorry I waited so long to see that."
It surprised him that she said Blue instead of his real name, but he was thankful for it. Anyone could be lurking around the dark streets ready to figure out his true identity. He smiled.
"I forgive you."
Kathy smiled back.
"You need a ride home?" "I know my way,"
she said, and pointed to a little shop with painted snowflakes on its windows.
"The campus is just behind that smoothie place." "Hey," he said, "if you really want to make it up to me, let's continue that conversation that got interrupted."
Adam looked towards the shop.
"You can buy me a smoothie."
"What flavor?"
"Surprise me."
Kathy smiled.
"It's a deal. See you tomorrow, around 1? 1 o'clock.
Adam repeated.
"I'll be there. Have a good night. And don't get in any more trouble before then."
"I'll do my best," she promised, and they both set off in opposite directions. "Oh, and—" she spun to ask, but he was nowhere to be seen. She reminded herself that she needed to learn how to do that. Night Shadow was waiting for him when Adam returned to the lair.
"Would you like the full report?"
Adam asked, setting his mask on its stand.
"As usual, yes."
His trainer nodded. Not knowing where to begin, Adam took a minute to get his thoughts together.
"Kathy knows Rax is calling the shots for the Ace Gang,"
he began.
"They also let it slip to her that the robberies are indeed connected."
Night Shadow knit his brows. Why was Miss Maple holding a conversation with those ruffians?
"Apparently she's been keeping tabs on them for a while now. In fact, I'd say she has eyes and ears on pretty much every sketchy band of criminals in the city."
Adam paused and inspected his teacher.
"I thought you knew that."
"I do," came the answer. "It never before occurred to me, however, that Kathleen Maple would already be so entwined with our own investigations."
"We could probably learn a lot if we could have access to her data,"
Adam said with some excitement at the prospect of uncovering vital information so easily. Night Shadow waved off the notion. "Any information of value, I am certain she has already handed to the police, and we know all they do. It is interesting that most of that intel has been coming from her, though. It shows you were right to keep an eye on her. She's a brave young lady. She will prove helpful." Adam was silent. He knew there was more to hear. Night Shadow was formulating a plan, and he wasn't sure he would like it. "You say they told her about Rax?" Adam nodded. "Why would they tell her? Do they trust her?"
"It slipped. They found out that they were being watched,"
Adam said.
"They set a trap, and Kathy walked into it. They were about to hand her over to Rax when I intervened. They got arrogant. Thought she couldn't escape."
"Good," Night Shadow said, almost to himself. "Will you be speaking to her again?"
"We plan to meet tomorrow."
Adam didn't like the way Night Shadow's back was turned to him.
"Sir, what are you thinking?"
The older man faced his protege. "We need ears on Rax. We need to know his plans, his base of operation, and above all, his cohorts, and before the police." Adam did his best to hide his growing apprehension. Night Shadow held an uneasy expression. Determination was set in his jaw, but a hint of worry and regret clouded his usually sharp gaze. "Mayhem has returned," he said quietly. "And Rax is our only lead." Adam's mind raced back to the newspaper clippings hanging in one of the lair's many rooms.
"Mayhem,"
he repeated. A blurry image of a masked villain entered his thoughts, along with a collage of headlines. Masked madman responsible for bridge collapse. Mayhem kills teen. The spark a no-show. The crimson criminal strikes again. "Yes," Night Shadow conceded. "I knew I had never truly defeated him, and now my worries are validated. After all these years."
"But what does this have to do with Kathy?"
Adam asked, although he knew the answer. "The bugs she has designed are top-notch," Night Shadow began. "I've managed to acquire one, and no matter what I try, I cannot redirect the signal. It's foolproof. Even Gadget couldn't hack it. And even after retiring, he's still the best in the business. We need the security of that technology if we're going to have a chance at safely monitoring Rax."
"You need to know if he really is connected to Mayhem,"
Adam stated.
"You need more bugs."
"Precisely."
"But she offered them to you a few nights ago. Why didn't you agree to them?"
"We need more than bugs," Night Shadow said gravely. "We need Rax. We need Kathy."
"What do you mean?"
"You say his men have seen her, that they wanted to hand her over to him. I know Rax well enough to know that means he's willing to talk. He will know what she knows, if she has any connection to you, and if yes, can he turn her against you?" Adam was silent. "Kathy has to speak with him. We must allow her to be taken."
"You plan to use her like a pawn?"
Adam felt sick. Night Shadow's expression turned to steel. "Do not accuse me of playing games, Adam. Lives are at stake."
"So how can you throw another one into the fire?"
How could this man he trusted sink into such a method? "If Rax wants Kathy, nothing is going to stop him." Night Shadow's expression softened. "In order to keep her alive after that encounter, we have to be the ones to plan our capture.
It's the only way to be sure she makes it out.
Adam looked around the room. He wanted to throw something. This plan just didn't seem right.
So, how do we tell her?
We don't. The only way this works is if she thinks it's real.